everyone, it is Toby here, back for another video, and I know, 2 deadlift videos in a row is not the ideal at all. Ideally, we would have had a leg day or a bench day in there, but I've just been so busy this week that my sessions haven't even taken over an hour. I've had to rush through them, and as such, you're getting another deadlift session, but this time it is just me on my own without Will. We are not doing heavy deadlifts. So as such, we're going to be focusing more on deadlift accessories and accessory work that helps build a strong, heavy deadlift. So yeah, the focus of this video is going to be my speed deadlifts and then all of the rows and other back variations that I do in order to help me build a strong basis to allow me to pull a heavy deadlift. So if that sounds like something you would be interested in, then stay tuned, because to this video I will not be skipping any of my accessory lifts. You'll see at least one set of every single accessory I'm doing today, because the whole focus of this video is what I do surrounding my heavy deadlifts in order to build that basis and prepare my body for pulling heavier. So without further ado, let's get stuck in to the session plan. But before we do, if you have watched a few of these videos and this is not your first time here, or if it is, then please be sure that you like this video and subscribe down below, because it'll help push this video to the algorithm, and subscribing will make sure you keep on top of the fact that I upload at least once a week some of my training sessions and various other strongman related content. So if that's something you're interested in, then please subscribe, like the video, and help push this video out to other people who might enjoy it. So the session plan then, every other week when I am pulling particularly heavy, I do a speed deadlift week. So that is this session today is going to be the speed deadlifts. We're going to be doing a lighter weight than I would usually do for 5 sets of 2 reps, and those 2 reps are done essentially as quickly as possible without sacrificing form or technique, so making sure that they're rocketed off the floor as if it was a heavy pull, and that helps train your fast twitch muscle fibers and gets that explosivity that you need for pulling heavy, without also tiring your body out massively like pulling heavy every week will do. So we're going to start off with 205 kilo for 5 sets of 2 today. I'm obviously not going to show you every single one of those sets, because in theory they should look identical, but after that we're going to move on to a lot of various different row variations, because I find that rows are fantastic for strongman. If you're training strongman or wanting to train strongman and you're not doing a significant amount of rows, then get some in your training, because when we get to the rows I'll go over more why then, but they are incredible accessory movements, especially on a deadlift, helping you keep your lats locked back on a deadlift, on a bench, on pretty much anything. You need to learn how to lock your back in position. So we're going to move on to the bent over rows, single arm dumbbell rows, lat pull downs, and chest supported dumbbell rows. That's our 4 main back accessories today, and that is a really good spread of different row and lat pull down variations that all have their purpose, all have their different quirks and uses that I like to do, while also making sure that I get a nice thick upper back. And then the last few things of this session are an event, so I'll be doing the sandbag throw. It is one of those events that's not too taxing on my upper back and hamstrings, but it is just taxing enough. But it's mainly there as technique practice, so we'll be doing that, and then finishing off with a little bit of core with the hanging leg raises. So that is a jam-packed session for you all guys. It's probably going to be a bit of a longer video today with detailed explanations as to why I do each thing. But yeah, if you want to see more of these detailed session breakdowns about why I do certain things with certain exercises, obviously I have a coach, so the principal reason why I do these things is because I'm told to and I listen to my coach. But a lot of these things I did do before I had a coach as well, and I had my own reasons for doing so. So I think it's important to share those. But without further ado, we're going to jump straight into the first exercise, which is the speed deadlift. And once I've done a couple sets of those to show you, I'll go over exactly why I do them the way I do, why speed deadlifts are really important. I touched on it a bit earlier, but let's jump in with the speed deadlifts. So that is the speed deadlifts out of the way. And if I was to tell you that those 2 sets were the latest ones, you wouldn't believe me because they move so well. In fact, actually, it was set 1 and set 3 that I filmed there for you guys. And the intention with speed deadlifts is to make every single set of the 5 look exactly the same, look as quick as each other. None should be quicker than the first. Actually, I find with speed deadlifts, the first set's always a bit of a slower one, and then as you get into the swing of it, they become faster and more explosive as you go on, which is exactly how it should be. And a lot of people get confused with speed deadlifts and what they should look like. Some people think that speed reps should be a blur. They should be super, super quick, as if it's an empty bar or as if you're holding nothing at all. And if that's the case, it is so light that it's probably not doing too much for you. The point of a speed deadlift is about pulling heavy weights quickly. So pulling light weights quickly is all well and good, but it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't prepare your body for heavy lifting. The point is you have to pull a decent weight that is still like quite heavy, and you've got to pull it smoothly, no sticking points, quickly, and then it helps prepare your body for the when it is pulling those heavy weights, to expect to pull it smoothly and quickly. So, for example, my heavy sets last week were 245 kilos, and this is 205 kilos. So it's only a 40 kilo drop from what I'm doing for heavy pulls. So it's still quite heavy. It's still in the sort of the realm of a last warm-up sort of weight. And 5 sets of 2 at that sort of weight, pulling quickly in relative terms. So it's not going to be a blur, but it's going to move smooth, no sticking points, and move well. It's going to prepare your body much better for an explosive pull than pulling super lightly for loads of reps really quick. So that's the important thing. And the important thing is to make sure that you attack your speed work as if it's a max, as if it's super, super heavy, as if you're not expecting to be able to get a double. Because if you come in and you half-arse it, it doesn't end up moving as smoothly as it could. It doesn't prepare your body well for moving heavy weights. And it is the same principle as warming up for a heavy deadlift. So you want to attack every single bar as if it's that top end set. So now that's speed deadlifts out the way, and I do them every other week with my super heavy sets. We are going to move on to the bent over rows. And yes, I know I bang on about bent over rows every single deadlift session because it is an absolute no-brainer exercise. And what I mean by that, I will explain after I have done them. But I'm going to get them done now, and you're going to see one set of the bent over rows just because you see them all the time. So I changed my mind and decided I was going to overlay the row footage to me talking, so there isn't so much stop-start and you're getting the good information with the video. But without further ado, the bent over row and why I make such a case for it. First things first, it is one of the row variations which you can do however you like. It is easy to set up. If you're deadlifting and wanting to build a deadlift, you have a barbell and plates, you can do a bent over row. You can do it as cheaty or as strict as you like, whichever width grip you like. It has so many variations that it has never left a program of mine. It is fantastic. Whether or not you decide to do it super cheaty, super ultra strict, or in the middle a bit like I do, that is up to you. But there are so many fantastic ways to do it. So, why do the bent over row? First things first, you're starting the session off with a deadlift, and I yap on about this time after time. You've already loaded the bar up, and unless you're a mutant, there is no way you are rowing more than you deadlift. So you have to unload that bar at some point. Why not stop unloading halfway and do some rows while it's already set up? You don't have to set anything new up. You're already unloading the plates anyway. At some point, it's already set up for you. So you may as well follow deadlifts up with it. Second thing, as I said before, you could do it as cheaty or as strict as you like. And that also includes a biomechanical drop set. So you could start off super strict, and then when you feel yourself breaking down, not being able to do any more, you could start cheating them some more and really get the most out of them. And they're just fantastic. They're super easy to do. The form's not complicated. And anyone could do them. And I can tell you what, I can't feel my lats burn in any other exercise more than a bent over row. I don't know what it is, but a bent over row for me always feels fantastic. And not only does it have great carryover for Strongman for locking your lats in on deadlifts or on bench or anything like that. It also has fantastic carryover to moving events, because that rowing, locking your lat in position is what's used to pick up stones, sandbags, kegs, do any sort of pull. It's just fantastic. It's a really good way to build that strength and thickness in your upper back, go a bit heavier while you still have the energy to do so after deadlifts, and before you move on to some of the lighter, more strict exercises that don't require as much energy, but also provide great back gains. So our next exercise then, once we have got over the heavy bent over rows, is the single arm row of some description, some form of unilateral, one arm at a time row, whether that be with a dumbbell, with a cable, with a machine. It's up to you. I like to do it with a dumbbell because it's heavy. You could do it anywhere that has dumbbells. You could do it, and it's really good, not just for your back, but also for your core and your stability as well. Doing that unilateral dumbbell row work is always fantastic. But yeah, once I do a heavy row of some description, usually a bent over row, as I said, I like to go into a single arm variation because not only does it then tackle any sort of weakness you might have with your non-dominant side, but also it gives your back a bit more of a rest from the dual sort of row variations for the next couple of exercises, and it lets you get in that unilateral work to sort out any imbalances you might have. That's sort of the main reason for it, and as I said, you can do it anywhere. Dumbbells are super easy to come by, machines, cables, whatever you want, whatever's most comfortable for you. Just get in, get it done. And you would have seen me doing it overlaid on top of this at some point. Pretty heavy, 55 kilo, 8 reps each arm, 3 sets. Pretty standard. Let's move on to the next exercise. Right, so next exercise is the lat pull down or pull up or some form of vertical pull. It is very important to get a vertical pull in because a lot of horizontal pulls of rowing is fantastic, should be done, but there should be at least some form of vertical pull, because you have a vertical pull in the downward motion of a deadlift at the start and then a bunch of horizontal rows. It's important to get a vertical pull in there, whether it be a lat pull down or a pull up, because they're just really fantastic at keeping that strength in the lats and allowing you to lock your lats back for stuff like the log press. Really useful to have vertical pull in your locker, and every person who is at least taking strength seriously should be able to do a couple pull-ups. So whether that's your preferred mode of pull or lat pull downs like they are for me, purely because for the pulls at this point in the session, we've done deadlifts, we've done heavy bent over rows, we've done heavy single arm dumbbell rows. My back is getting pretty fried, as is my grip, to be honest, and to do a good set of 8 to 10 proper pull-ups, I have to be fresh. I can't do that at 125 kilo body weight after doing all of these rows, because I'm just absolutely fried. So I prefer to go a bit lighter on a lat pull down. Still heavy, still as heavy as I can manage for 10 reps, but make sure I get the volume in, because there's no use going and doing 1 or 2 pull-ups and getting fried when the lat pull down is an option. So if you can do sets of 8 to 10 pull-ups after all of the rows and stuff, because you're at a much lighter body weight or you're much stronger than I am, then yeah, go ahead, do it, but I prefer the lat pull down. Yeah, it's always really important to get a vertical pull in there. You'll see the trend we've got is we've got sort of one of each variation of pull or row. So we've got deadlift being the first big heavy pull, then bent over rows being a heavy sort of horizontal row, single arm dumbbell rows to cover our unilateral work, our single arm work, which is always really important. Then we've got the lat pull down to do our vertical pull volume and vertical pull in the other direction than a deadlift. And then finally, the next exercise will cover off our strict row variation. So our final back accessory of the session, as I hinted to before, it is rounding off our row variations nicely with a strict chest supported dumbbell row. And now I love these. Nothing hits me in the rear delts and rhomboids like this does. It's got the unilateral element of it being dumbbells not connected. You can't cheat your left arm up with your right. It will expose your weaknesses. It's fantastic. It's strict because it's chest supported. You can't get a cheat in there at all. It is purely on the back to get these up, and they are just fantastic. I love ending a back day with them because the weights are lighter and it's so strict. The fact that you're running out of energy by this point doesn't really matter because it is all about getting these reps as strict as possible, really nicely. They just feel fantastic and in a really, really solid way to end off a back day. And yeah, it's super important, as I said, to get those strict work in once you've done all the heavy work, just to finish those muscles off and build a thick, strong upper back. So hopefully that was a very useful insight to all of my back accessories and why I do them, to not only support the deadlift but the bench, the log press and any other facet of strongman training that comes in handy. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to sort of the ending bit of the session, which doesn't include back accessories. It is, of course, the sandbag toss as an event coming up in competition, some technique practice on that, and a bit of core at the end, because core is sort of good to do whenever you can, really, to make sure that you're keeping on top of that thick, stable core that you need for strongman, pulling heavy, pushing heavy, all of that stuff. A thick, strong core is going to help you out massively. But yeah, without further ado, we're going to head outside and hopefully, I know it's not the focus of this video, but hopefully I can get some good throws in to show you guys right now. That was good. That was the best sandbags felt in a while. It's been a bit of a jump getting up to 24 kilo now. That's the second heaviest I've got to do in comp, and I mean that I did 5 sets of 3, and 4 out of the 5 sets I got it over once, and the set you saw, my best set, I got it over twice, which was nice. And the middle rep, you could sort of tell it was going to go wrong before it did. I reckon if it was a metal proper structure, it would have probably just toppled over, but because it's plastic moves and knocked itself under. But can't complain, really pleased. Yeah, if we're 2.5 months out from comp, getting the second heaviest bag over consistently at least once, all I got to do is get it over once in competition. So really pleased with that, and I'm glad I managed to get my best set on film, because sometimes I do it and I get my best set as one of my warm-up sets where I don't even film it. So I'm really pleased with that. So as I mentioned earlier, to end this session, I'm just going to be doing a bit of core, just some hanging leg raises to both decompress my spine and get my core nice and fried. I did say I was going to film every single thing. I'm not going to film that just because I need to get it done. It's getting late. I've been in here 2.5 hours already, so I need to get it done, really. But yeah, this video's whole focus really was the back accessories and how I do accessories for deadlift on deadlift day, basically. So you saw every single accessory, how I alternate my weeks with speed reps and then move into the heavy bent over rows, single arm dumbbell rows, lat pull downs and chest supported dumbbell rows to finish off my back completely, and how each one of those is useful in their different ways. So hopefully you found that useful. If it did prove pretty useful for you, leave a comment down below and let me know. If you do any other like specific back exercises that you couldn't live without, you really want to get them done every single back day, leave them in the comments below and it might help some other people out. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far and you haven't considered hitting subscribe, please go ahead and do so. And remember, like this video and let me know down below if you want to see any more of these sort of session breakdowns where I go really deep into my accessories and why I do them and why I find them useful. If that's something you would like to see, just let me know and I'll do more of them. But I thought back day was a good one to start with because it probably has the most carryover to strongman in general, so it's probably the most useful. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Toby and I will see you in the next video.